Hey everybody, I'm Shane Ireland. You might notice that this looks a little bit different than my usual setup. I think this is actually a first for the Tasting Notes with Shane Ireland series, but I'm here on location in South Louisiana, St. James Parish at 31 Farms, which is Cornell Diehl's proprietary Perique farm. And today I'm excited to talk about a new release from Pease and the Pease line that features that very same Perique. Today we're talking about the newest entry into the Zeitgeist series, Ellipses. So the inspiration for the newest addition to the Zeitgeist line under the Pease brand, Ellipses, it's inspired by surrealism, particularly surrealist music and tritones, and the sort of idea that the main players in this blend are the Virginia components, the Turkish components, and the Perique itself. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I love Virginia Perique blends in general. Virginia Oriental blends, and there's not a ton on the market where you have Orientals and Perique playing together, sharing the stage as continental tobaccos without the addition of Latakia. This is also a beautiful flake, presented really, really well in the tin. It's supple, really, really easy to handle. On the lighter side, a little bit of dark flecks, but mostly you're looking at some golden tones and a little bit of like a medium chestnut maybe. The tin note itself is incredible. What I get most, I'm attributing to the Virginia grades here. You have that really nice zesty bready quality. There's some sweetness that you can perceive in the tin. A little bit of a fruity note from the 31 Farms genuine St. James Parish Perique. Mostly what I get is that sort of like really nice, like lightly sweet baked goods kind of a thing. This is the closest I think that I've come to a tin note in a long time that reminds me a little bit of Fig Newton and maybe like Madeleine cookie. Yeah, really nice. On the brighter side, a little bit of a zesty note. Yeah, it's just a really, really nice, inviting all-day Virginia based on the tin note there. And I think that comes through in the blend as well. Ellipsis is a very complex blend, starting with the Izmir component, which is actually from 2020. That's a grade TKP20 Izmir leaf. And then the base of this blend is formed with crop years 2022 and 2023 Canadian bright leaf, that's CABO 22 and 23 grades respectively, and a mix of red Virginia leaf, DH17 grades from 2017 and TH13 grades from 2014. To this, Cornell Diehl's proprietary St. James Parish Perique from 31 Farms is added, and a little bit of heirloom burley, which is actually a 2014 white burley, adding a little bit of body and rounding this out. And I think that the 2014 burley and the various grades of Virginia form the perfect base for this 2020 year Izmir leaf and the genuine St. James Parish Perique from 31 Farms to sort of interplay off of each other. Again, I am a huge fan of all of these components, and I can't think of many examples out there on the market where Izmir and Perique share the stage, sort of, so to speak. And what you get is a blend that is easy to enjoy all day, very, very comforting to smoke, familiar to all the Virginia lovers out there, but with the complexity and intrigue that I know a lot of us are looking for. It's not just me. So, back to the blend itself. Oh, I can't believe my pipe stayed lit after yapping that much. I'm about a quarter of the way into this particular bowl. Going back to the initial light, again, I did rub these flakes out. They're very, very supple, very easy to handle, which is typical for the Cornell Diehl produced flakes. I gave them, I don't know, less than 2 minutes airtime. I think the moisture content from the tin is exactly where you want to smoke this one. It's going to feel maybe slightly spongier than you could be used to if you tend to give your tobaccos more airtime like I do. But straight from the tin, this handles, packs very easily, takes to the flame really well, checks all those boxes. And I really like the development of the blend, and I definitely did not want to lose any of the complexity by sacrificing oils in the essential parts of the tobacco to giving it more airtime. So right off the bat, the first thing that I notice is a mixture of those lovely Virginia grades and the 2014 white burley. A nice sort of toasty character, tiny bit of earthiness, a little bit of nuttiness from that burley, and also probably from the Izmir. But I was just getting like the sourdough bread notes and the sort of baked goods and that really, really nice zesty quality and sweetness from the Canadian bright leaf. Ellipsis is extremely balanced on the surface. I say this a lot, and it's because the tobaccos that I gravitate towards the most tend to fit this bill and this descriptor. But this is one where your Virginia smokers are going to be able to just puff away any time of the day. I'd say it's firmly medium in both strength and flavor and high in complexity, which is what I'm typically looking for. And what that does for me personally in my rotation is it allows me to enjoy this blend without paying super close attention. It definitely can fade into the background. It definitely can accompany a variety of situations and even a variety of pairings. But when you do slow down your puffing cadence and really pay attention and really focus on the pipe, you can spend literally hours and bowl after bowl after bowl sort of trying to pick out these flavors and this nuance that Ellipsis offers. Before I get into some of the complexity of this blend and the notes that are added by the condimental components, I wanted to talk a little bit about, as the bowl progresses, one thing that catches me off guard, at least a little bit here, is how much perceived sweetness there is. You have a pretty good sugar content in some of the red Virginia grades and a high sugar content in some of those bright Canadian leaf grades. And really, I was sort of surprised because we don't really think of Izmir as being a type of tobacco that's very high in sugar content. And while Perique has those lovely fruity notes, neither is it necessarily something that adds a lot of sweetness. I think what the earthiness from the Perique and the earthiness and the sort of floral qualities from the Izmir are doing is really amplifying the base tobacco blend and the sweetness that it does provide. I get moments where I feel like I'm getting nearly as much sweetness as I've ever gotten from a very natural tobacco blend. And then you're also getting the really lovely sort of nearly incense-like and floral qualities from the Izmir, and a little bit of like some dried fruit notes from the 31 Farms Perique. The spice definitely amplifies as the bowl progresses, especially through the retrohale, but I think this one is like very, very gentle and very, very refined on the spicy side. Like I said, you're getting a little bit of those warming spices, a touch of pepper, a little bit of earthiness, and the sort of lovely like floral notes from the Oriental component here. It's almost like a buttered toast and marmalade kind of a thing here. You have that grainy and rich and almost, I want to say buttery or fatty type of a flavor. It sounds strange, but really it is. It's like a rich, like palate coating base. And then on top of that, you have this like lovely, like lightly spiced that goes back and forth between like a light peppery note and like warming spices for me. And then on top of that, I have this like very sort of generic, like not too sweet marmalade, like, like darker fruits or dried fruits, almost over to the apricot side even a little bit. I think there's a zesty quality here that's coming from the bright Virginias that sort of carries some of those notes. And this one's just a bit of a chameleon. I mean, like I said, at moments I feel like I'm smoking, a Virginia Oriental blend. At moments it feels very, very much like a really, really nice all-day Virginia Perique. And then there are moments where there's something that's almost indescribable about this combination of tobaccos. Today I'm smoking GLP Ellipsis in I think this is a 120th anniversary Peterson system pipe in the Rua finish. It's just a great pipe for outdoor smoking, in my opinion. The system really, really does well to allow the flavors to come through and to trap the moisture. This is a Virginia pipe for me, and it's really loving Ellipsis. If you are already a fan of Greg's tobaccos, many of us are, I probably don't need to try very hard to get you to try this one. But I will say that while Greg historically over the last several decades has been known for his ability to really work his magic with Latakia and Oriental tobaccos and English blends in general, I personally have always been really excited to see him working with Virginias and Periques and things like that, because his blends like Haddo's Delight, Union Square, Embarcadero is one of my personal favorites. I think that if you like the Virginia blends in the Fog City collection, if you've liked any of the other stuff that he's done with Virginia Perique in the past, Ellipsis is going to blow your mind. It's a really interesting riff on the traditional Virginia Perique flake, and I think that the grades selected here, the heirloom white burley, that 2020 Izmir leaf, and the 31 Farms Perique, they really get along in this blend, and that comes through in the bowl. And you'd have to smoke through quite a few tins of this to really wrap your head around it. And finally, as is the case with most of the GLP's blends, I think the runway and the longevity of this blend in the cellar is going to be incredible. There's enough complexity here, enough sugar content in the Virginias, and enough oomph from the white Burley and the 31 Farms Perique that Ellipsis after 5-10 years is going to be insane. So definitely go deep on this one, see how it evolves over the years. Don't be hesitant to enjoy it fresh. And thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time. Shane Ireland here from 31 Farms in Louisiana.